In today's video, we are going to be talking about a big win that we just received a few hours ago in the case of Rhode v. Bonta. This was a direct challenge to California's ammunition scheme, how you can acquire ammunition, and it's got some interesting aspects to it. And whether or not you are in California or anywhere within the United States, I think it's instructive to understand what the state is doing in trying to restrict your Second Amendment rights, and how certain jurists, in this particular case, Judge Roger T. Benitez, as we fondly call him, Saint Benitez, is pushing back against the tyranny of the state. All right, so a couple of quick disclaimers here. This video is being produced on January 31st, at the end of the month, and this decision literally just came out a couple of hours ago. It is highly likely that the state is going to appeal this opinion up to the Ninth Circuit. It's also very likely that they will ask the Ninth Circuit for a stay on the opinion while it's going through the appellate process. Knowing the Ninth Circuit, it's also very likely that the Ninth Circuit will grant that stay. So right at this moment, as this video is being produced, the law regarding California's ammunition vending scheme has been deemed unconstitutional, meaning it doesn't exist. It's unenforceable. But that could change at any moment. So I want to be clear, if you're using this video for some form of legal guidance, you're going to want to check the current state of the law. This video may get dated very, very quickly. All right, that being said, I also should give you the admonishment. If you've seen most of my other videos, you know that I normally like to do you the honor of dressing appropriately for them. It seems that every time I decide to go casual at the office, we end up getting a big decision. So I apologize for not wearing the blazer or the mysterious jewelry that I like to wear on my lapel that gives so many of you consternation. All right, with that, let's get into this case. So a number of years ago, about 4 years ago, California voters approved something called Prop 63. This was before the Bruin decision had come out, all right? In Prop 63, they said if someone wants to purchase ammunition for a firearm, or for any reason for that matter, I suppose, they have to go through a background check. And then they will be issued effectively a license that will be valid for 4 years. And during that time, during that 4-year period of time, they can buy as much ammunition as they want. But every 4 years, they have to sort of get reevaluated, for lack of a better term. That proposition passed. However, the California legislature amended it through their legislative process to now require that every single time somebody purchases ammunition, they must go through a background check. More importantly, all ammunition sales must be done through a licensed ammo vendor. Now, any FFL automatically is a licensed ammo vendor. However, there are some people who specifically petitioned to become ammo vendors, all right? So if, in the past, if you lived in California and you wanted to buy ammunition online, you could, and you could have it shipped directly to your home or your business. This new law made that impossible. You could buy ammunition online, but it would have to ship to an FFL or an ammo vendor, then to be transferred to you. Now, there are a couple of exemptions that dealt primarily with shooting ranges. You could go to a shooting range and you didn't have to pass a background check. You could simply buy the ammunition right then and there. However, you were not allowed to take the ammunition out of the range. You had to shoot it while you were at the range. Now, it's unclear whether or not ranges actually enforced that rule, but nonetheless, that's how the statute was actually written. Interestingly enough, there was also a tremendous failure rate on the background check. At the time of the initial lawsuit, it had like a 24% failure rate, false positive, so to speak. Somebody attempting to purchase ammunition would be deemed a prohibited person, even though they're not a prohibited person. And it was happening, I think, initially at about 24% of the time. There were also issues with the website and everything else. And at the time of this decision, Judge Benitez articulates that it appears that that number has now gone down to about an 11% improper failure rate, which he says is still grossly too high, but it has improved somewhat. Anyways, Rhode, and you might recognize that name, Kim Rhode is the Olympic gold medalist in trap and skeet. She was the one who challenged this because, to be quite candid with you, Kim Rhode uses a boatload of ammunition for her training, and going through all the requirements to get ammunition in California would make it untenable. So she became the named plaintiff. Well, like I said, Benitez today issued his opinion, and he said that the Second Amendment, actually to be more specific, he said that the law fails constitutionality test because it violates the Second Amendment. And he goes through his exquisite Bruin analysis. He also says that the law fails the Dormant Commerce Clause test. This is a part of the Constitution that essentially says states cannot create protected businesses and attempt to exclude other businesses out of state from engaging in interstate commerce. That's somewhat of a watered down analysis on that, but effectively, a state cannot protect its own industries against outside state industries. And the way that California's ammunition regulations are set up, someone in California could not travel to Arizona, purchase ammunition, and bring it back into California. And he says that violates the Dormant Commerce Clause. It's unconstitutional for that as well. He also cites the Firearms Owners Protection Act, which is a federal law. And he says it's in direct conflict with the Firearms Owners Protection Act. And that, whenever you have a state law and a federal law, they're in conflict with one another. The Supremacy Clause mandates that the federal one be upheld and the state one wither away on the vine. So what's interesting is, and look, we know Judge Benitez very, very well. He's, done exquisite jobs as it relates to a number of different cases outside the Second Amendment, but specifically for us, his rulings on the Second Amendment have been absolutely spot on. What is interesting though is that typically at the end of his opinions, the state, already knowing that Judge Benitez is probably going to rule against them, the state will ask for a stay. All right, saying basically, look, we know you're going to probably fine for the plaintiffs, so we're going to appeal your decision. We're going to ask you to stay your decision pending the appeal to the Ninth Circuit. It's highly likely that the state did just that with this Rhode case. He never mentions it. What he doesn't allow, though, is this case to be stayed. Okay, it is enjoined immediately as of right now. That's one of the reasons why I gave you that admonition at the beginning that this video is potentially going to be dated, because right now at this exact moment on at 2:15 on January 31st, the law has been enjoined. If you are a California resident and you want to go online and purchase ammunition and have it shipped directly to your home or to your business, there's no legal prohibition about doing that. Now, tomorrow, the Ninth Circuit may issue an emergency stay. Okay, but right now, we had Freedom. Judge Benitez gave us Freedom Week relating to magazines. Back in the case of Duncan v. Bonta, we may be having a semi-version of Freedom Week as it relates to ammunition. Or as the case may be with the Ninth Circuit, we may be looking at Freedom couple of days or whatever. Regardless, it is a great decision. It's an exquisite job of an articulate explanation of Bruin, as well as the Dormant Commerce Clause and the Supremacy Clause. It shouldn't be any surprise that I, support his decision on this. But regardless, it's really, really good legal reasoning. And it's going to be very difficult, quite candidly, for the Ninth Circuit to go against his reasoning. That being said, it's the Ninth Circuit, so we can only have to wait to see what happens. Hey guys, I'm pausing this video for just a moment. USCCA, which is the one who puts these videos on, they are doing a giveaway right now, and it is awesome. Okay, you're gonna want to participate. Now, you can read all about it directly below in the description on this video, but you're going to want to get on this pretty soon. It will end. As always, though, if you have any questions, by all means, contact me directly. You can do so at steven@artemishq.com. And as always, train constantly, train consistently, train repetitively, and train with purpose. Above all else, stay safe.